Yo, Arthur, if you're into this with your own men, what are you gonna do to your wife? Before we open this review of chapter 23 of *MENACE the Apocalypse, please do me a favor and leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Now, let's get into it. What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and here we are to review chapter 23 of *MENACE the Apocalypse, known as Arthur Pendragon, aka Menace Mode. Like, golly, Arthur was an entire different type of breed of menace. In this chapter alone, he managed to be a more intimidating villain than the entirety of the Demon King. I'm talking about, like, all the Demon King's appearances. In this one chapter, Arthur surpassed that. But let's get right into it. So, like, what I love about this chapter is that, like, the title page, instead of being something completely unrelated, is literally just a continuation of the last chapter, and we hop right into the action. And by the action, I mean Ironside, being punished, let's say. Because Arthur's like, bruh, really? You messed up, like, again. Like, this is, first, you failed to kill the dude. Secondly, you had the coffin of eternal darkness in your paws, bruh, and you let it slip? Like, bruh, why should I not erase you from the very planet? I don't care if it was one of the *MENACE the Apocalypse. They were a whole child, dog. Like, really? Come on now. You're trash. You're free. You're dog water, Ironside. Like, he literally attacks Ironside's entire character here. And to be fair, Arthur is low-key spitting right now. I can't even really get mad at him for being, like, playfully annoyed at first. Because, yeah, Ironside, what happened, buddy? Like, this shouldn't have been a problem. You should just, like, killed them all instantaneously, especially considering you're so much more powerful. But no, you had to be confident, and you ended up getting your behind beat. And the thing is, Ironside's like, Your Majesty, I completely understand your frustration. I make no excuses. I will take any punishment you give out to me. And then Arthur goes on, yo. See, I'll admit, last chapter I wasn't happy that Arthur didn't get much change outside the drip, despite me understanding why, because of course he should be timeless by this point. But now I'm actually really liking it, because seeing this same design that for the longest time was just supposed to be like a symbol of hope, happiness, all this good stuff, seeing it go like full menace and twisting it like this, like Nakaba is doing such a great job of twisting the base Arthur design to make it look extremely menacing while changing literally nothing about his facial features, nothing about the way his hair looks. It's only the drip, and it's only how he draws him, like the lines covering his eyes, stuff like that. And I love how Arthur's like, you know, you're a pretty cool cat, Ironside, and instantly strings him up in this massive torture chamber. Like, legitimately, Ironside is screaming in agony as this weird woman thing with two mouths and, like, multiple tendrils pierces Ironside's chest. Like, this is nasty. And I'll admit, Nakaba in this series, more than any time in the last series, is just flexing his artistic chops in terms of just creating monster designs, creating, like creepy imagery, just imagery in general. Like, the art level up from Seven Deadly Sins has not only lasted, but the style change has also seemed to, like, shoot up a lot. Like, this seems very much more stylized, and the monsters here are just, like, amazingly detailed. It's also disgusting, and I can't keep looking at it. But then we get to see Arthur, like, he remembers what he said: a land with no pain, no sadness, where no one is left exposed to any kind of threat or calamity. That is Camelot, the everlasting kingdom. Meanwhile, he's torturing Ironside to the bone right now. Ironside's coughing blood as a hole in his torso, and, like, wow. But the thing that gets me here is that Arthur, despite seemingly having mastered his chaos powers, like, to the utmost degree, like, he can flicker on into what I'll just call, like, dark mode or something like that. Because honestly, his eyes look just like Kath's eyes. I didn't notice that in the original series, but yeah, when he's using at least, like, the darker side of his chaos powers, his eyes have the same slits like Kath do. And actually, after taking a quick glance back at the Dark Arthur from the last series, his eyes actually weren't slitted like they are now. They actually seem to be like normal dot eyes. They're just, he has, regardless of what the pupil shape is, he has the same darkness that Kath did in his eyes. Like, he has the white iris and then the black, I'm not sure, I forget what hold on, what's that part of the eye called? The black sclera. Like, he has the exact same eye design that Kath did when Kath was in his true form. And I think that's really cool, because one, it could be implying that Kath still does have some influence over him, especially with the slightly slitted pupils now when he's using dark mode in comparison to just the dot eyes he had before. But also at the same time, it could just be Arthur just slowly adapting more and more, considering he's barely human right now. Like, sure, he is human, but at the same time, he's also chaos. So that could definitely be a thing that we don't fully understand at this point. But the great thing is, we see that Arthur did all this, like, and he brings up an interesting point, though. He says the 7 deadly sins and the new quartet talking about the Four Knights of the Apocalypse could still be a threat to him. And like, I know Meliodas said he was going to keep Arthur in check. But Arthur, haven't you been training for like the whole 16-year time skip, bro? I'm assuming, because you have complete control over your chaos powers, I'm pretty sure you're sitting in an alternate dimension right now that you popped out of nowhere. So, like, do you really have any need to be concerned right now, bro? Like, you're kind of built different, I'm not gonna lie. Like, couldn't you just, I mean, to be fair, we've seen characters bust out of dimensions before, but that's when they're relative. So, like, did the entire, like, when he says 7 deadly sins, he doesn't say Meliodas, he doesn't say really Meliodas, but like, that's the thing, he doesn't say any of the higher level powers, he doesn't say Bond, he doesn't say King, he doesn't say anything like that. He just says the 7 deadly sins as a whole. Like, are they really that much of a menace to you, Arthur? Like, could they really stop you? I know it's multiple people against one, but I feel like you can probably clone yourself. And then the 4 knights, I know they're destined to like destroy the world and stop you, but at the same time, they're a bunch of kids, bro. I feel like you could go handle this yourself. Like, if Arthur were to step out of the dimension he's in right now and just go run the fade with Meliodas, the gang, and then go find the 4 knights himself, I feel like he could wash them really quickly, if not just, I don't know, like, that's it. I feel like he could just wash them very quickly and then the matter would be done with. But he's apparently scared enough that he wants to seal them away with the Cauldron of Eternal Darkness. He does not want smoke, which is cool for Meliodas. That means the boy probably done caught up to chaos. And if he done caught up to chaos, then let me get out the old Respect Meliodas video and redo that bad boy too. But what do y'all think? Do you think the sins have like caught up to the level of chaos? I'm talking about like the sins in general. You think they're all in that level of power? Because if so, gosh darn. But I want to know what y'all think, because I think I could see Meliodas if he trained, considering he was confident in training for a while to catch up to the Demon King. He just didn't think he had enough time. So if y'all think that he could catch up, I mean, let me know. Let me know in the comments. But then we get to see Arthur's actual motivation for like being a menace right now. And he literally just wants to protect humans. That's it. He wants to get rid of the other species because humans have constantly been caught up in their wars and doing damage to humans alone. And he just wants to make Britannia human only. By humans, for humans, of humans. Which reminds me a lot of another villain from a series I've read recently, but neither here nor there. So to see that is actually kind of interesting, but at the same time, I don't think this is fully Arthur speaking, because remember that Chaos was a will. That's what the entity known as Chaos was described as. He was supposed to be a will that happened to carry a lot of power behind it, enough power to create the world on a whim, essentially. So for that to be the case, we actually get the idea that Arthur could be being influenced by Chaos instead of maybe Cath, because Arthur wants to protect humans, and humans were Chaos's favorite creation, and he kind of didn't like the other ones because they all seem to be failures to him. So if this is like mostly Arthur but with some Chaos supporting him, like, yes, eradicate all the other races, because that seems like something Chaos probably would have done down the line. They just didn't get the chance to because they got jumped by their kids. So I wouldn't be shocked if this was like Chaos pushing Arthur along, like, yeah, buddy, this is the right way to go. This is what we're doing here, right now. Get rid of them all. But the thing is, Arthur still is focused on protecting Camelot above all. He's like, come on now. I know you want to protect Camelot, right, Ironside? Come on now. Don't disappoint me with these stupid errors, boy, before I beat the... Like, this is definitely the most menacing we've ever seen Arthur. I love the pose he does here, too. Like, he has the hand, and yo, like, one of y'all pointed out in last week's comment section, I'm gonna put the comment on screen, one of y'all pointed out in last week's comment section that Arthur is still missing an arm, and like, to be fair, I never even really thought about that. I thought it was just covering it because like maybe it like mutated into like a Cath type arm because of absorbing Cath, but no, he specifically only uses that one arm this entire chapter, so maybe he never did regenerate his arm. Man can create whole dimensions but can't regenerate one limb. Still worse than a Demon Clan member or a Goddess Clan member. Come on now, Arthur. But at the same time, we get to see that Arthur claims that he values Ironside more than anybody else does. And I think Ironside actually believes that, because Ironside doesn't show any signs of rebelling. And then Arthur rips away the reality that was killing Ironside, and Ironside finds himself to be completely fine. Armor restored and everything. Got a free heal up. And the thing is, like, I love the dichotomy between Arthur here too. Like, the fact that he goes from dark, don't fail me again, Ironside, or else I'll wipe you from this existence and the next one. It's like, haha, that took out all the poison, didn't it? Like, the dichotomy there, it's so freaky, but I like it because it's really good to see like some of the original Arthur still in there, like this smiling, happy-go-lucky dude. And he's 32 now, which is weird to put into perspective. But then again, Meliodas was like 4,000. So I'm not shocked about that. I'm saying 4,000 because like the 1,000 years he spent in purgatory. Leave me be. I know he's only been around for like 3,000 years, like in terms of the main canon timeline. Don't get mad at me for that. But in terms of seeing Arthur like this, it's really, really cool. And another thing to note is that he sort of has, I mean, it's harder to tell in that shot, but earlier on, you can sort of see that Arthur, in the shot where he has like the dark hand pose, you can sort of see that Arthur has like purity symbols on him. Like Darieri the Purity, if you remember her commandment symbol, it was like the 3-pronged claw. And I'm not sure if that's just Nakaba reusing a cool design, or if it's supposed to be like Arthur's sort of supposed to be having purity, but of course he doesn't actually have it completely because of like chaos and the power trip and stuff like that. So that'd be kind of cool if that were actually the case. But I'm not sure if that's just Nakaba reusing design philosophies or not, because honestly Nakaba does have a lot of characters that look kind of the same and a lot of designs that tend to be a bit similar, but that happens. Or it could be Nakaba symbolism. Either way, it's still really cool to me. But then we get to see that Ironside's like, yes, good sir, thank you for taking the poison out. I will travel Britannia and slaughter my son. And Arthur, just in like the coolest, most relaxed way ever, is like, nah, don't worry about it. Forget about it. That's light work, dog. You don't need to do that. I've got an even more important favor to ask. And the thing is, we get to see that Arthur's like, yo, Merlin, tell me I'm spitting, right? We've been stalled every single time we've been trying to do this. It's because them people got the vision. Our opponents have vision. And like, I was trying to think so hard after reading this. Who has future vision? I think it's Bartra, right? He's the only person that had, like, I think his magic was even called vision. But is Bartra still alive after 16 years? Like, is this really a thing? Like, I'm not gonna lie, at the end, well, possibly that could be the case still. Because technically it's only been 6 years, I believe, because he turned 10. Yeah, I think it's only been 6 years since Tristan's birthday. So yeah. Now that I think about it, Bartra could still be alive and well. That actually makes sense. So if they do have the vision, it would make sense why Arthur's been stopped, because every single time that he could go to do some big move, Bartra could be like, holy sweet mother of chaos, help Meliodas, go do this. And I could definitely see that happening. But at the same time, it's like, darn, Arthur, aren't you literally like a whole deity right now? Why don't you just watch them, buddy? And the thing is, Ironside's like, yo, you want to go recover the vision? And Arthur's so cool. He's like, nope, but nice try. Because I think Arthur even knows, man, if Ironside really got bodied by this bunch of kids, if I send him anywhere near the actual Leonis, he's just gonna die. Like, I feel like Ironside will get sneezed on by Meliodas or anyone of his ilk and just, boom, he'd be gone at the rate that he's shown so far. But then Arthur is like, I love Arthur here because he showed like this tactical side to him that we never got to see in the original series. Because he's like, they'd be on the lookout for that. Of course, they know they're going to be protecting the vision, top quality defense. Probably I could even go and get it, so I don't expect you to go and get it. So don't worry about that. And another interesting thing to note, Merlin doesn't respond to anything that Arthur says. She's been dead silent. And also her design covers up the mouth scar. I'm not sure if we saw this in the trailer for the Cursed by Light movie, but it's kind of sad to see that Merlin has like cast aside everything for Escanor. Like, she used to proudly bear the mouth scar, but now that she's like working under Arthur completely, she hides it. Like, you can't see her mouth. She doesn't speak. She doesn't do anything. She just stands there watching over Arthur, which is what she said she was going to do. But at the same time, it's like, come on now. Escanor did so much for you, Merlin. Like, why would you? Like, you couldn't even have this dude here right now if it wasn't for Escanor. You could at least, like, show off the mouth scar. But fine, whatever. I feel bad for Escanor, though, man. I bet he's watching he's punching the air right now in the capital of the dead. I can tell. But then we get to see Arthur say the most wild thing that I never expected Arthur to say. Hey, yo, bruh. Find my wife. And I'm like, well, to be fair, bride. But at the same time, Ironside has the exact same reaction as me. Pardon? Like, what? Bride? And I don't know who I like looked up Arthurian mythology. I'll admit, I was fiending for the answer to this one. I was like, who is the bride? But at the same time, like, there are options. There are multiple answers I found online that I just couldn't like reconcile. So if y'all got any like super specific answers, don't be afraid to tell me. But at the same time, like, it could be like, and I know it's like a complete shot in the dark, but it could be like Jericho. She was taken into the realm of the Lady of the Lake, so she could have like some minor chaos powers, which would be good to meld with Arthur. Could be. That's about it. That's all I got. Like, I can't think of any other female characters from the previous series who would like have any good affinity with Arthur. Like, maybe Margaret. I'm assuming she's already with Gil. I doubt Veronica. Veronica never really showed off anything, so probably not her. Unless he's trying to get with Diane, you know, do the giant rumble. Like, I have no idea what he would do with that. Elizabeth, I doubt Meliodas will let that slide, and I don't think Arthur wants Ironside to go to Leonis anyway. Like, there are options, but I can't really think of anyone specific. Like, I got nothing, so yeah, don't be afraid to tell me any of your thoughts of like any characters from the previous series that could be Arthur's bride, hypothetically. Unless it's like the Lady of the Lake herself. Ooh, that could be something. Like, he literally just marries the Lady of the Lake since she was like a part of chaos. Like, she was wrought from chaos. So Arthur's like, yeah, by her becoming my bride, I could really just reabsorb her and get even more powerful, which could be possible now that I think about it. So Lady of the Lake could be a very real possibility, but I don't know if, at least if it's the Lady of the Lake from the last series, I don't know how Arthur would like expect Ironside to retrieve her, because she's like bound to the lake. Does he expect Ironside to just go bring a cup and just whoop and then bring it back and hopefully Arthur can do something with it? I don't know. Very, very strange. But end of that, moving on to like the rest of the chapter, we get to see that Anne's father is like, wow, I can't thank y'all enough. You managed to save all the Sistana, and the gang is stanced up. We see Donnie with the hands behind the head. Nasian's, is his coat? I think his coat is still messed up. I think he literally still has a hole in his shirt. Let's get that man a new shirt. Get this man a shirt. And then we get to see Percival standing on the ruins of a building, wiping the underneath of his nose. Like, man looks mad cocky here, and I'm actually super happy to see it. And he's like, well, he did body bag these houses, but once again, the Duke is like, nah, don't worry. We're vibing. Like, you didn't let a single person die. That's mad impressive. And that's also mad stupid. Like, you're telling me not a single person died? But whatever. Magic. I'm not shocked. We get to see that Nasians doesn't buy anything Sin says. Like, there's not a moment's hesitation of Nasians being like, okay, where'd the band of holy knights you called go, Sin? Like, come on, tell me right now. And Sin's like, no, my forest friends. And he's like, and like Sin's trying to struggle to come up with a lie here. And Dottie's like, come on now, tell the truth. And I'm like, oh, you're going to make Sin finally tell the truth? And then Sin just writes it off, and then we aren't going to get it because Anne still isn't here yet. Man, that's whack. Then we get to see something interesting out of, I love how Donnie calls Anne's father Pops. Like, I don't know, just weird stuff in like character interactions I really, really enjoy here. And then we get to see the whole squad, apparently. Like, we get to see Ironside with his, well, not with his wife, but with the Duke's wife. We get to see Varghese again. Well, he's way younger, still has black hair. We see Nanashi, but he ain't dressed up in knight armor, shockingly enough. We get to see Arthur wielding Excalibur, and we get to see Merlin in her old outfit with Orlandi. Like, and I just noticed this. We get to see Big Papa Pelgard. Who is Pelgard? Please tell me who Pelgard is. Pelgard's just a G. He's a G. Yo, I didn't even notice that in my initial reading of the chapter. First sighting of Big Papa Pelgard in like months. I'm so happy to see you, bro. I'm so happy you're here. Best character in Fortnite still. But it is cool to see Anne's mom. Like, and I wonder how strong she was. I hope we get some backstory. Like, a flashback arc is something I wouldn't mind with this group because of how important they seem to be, especially to like Arthur's whole existence at the moment. Like, they seem to be the main contributing factor to the existence of Camelot right now. Like, if it wasn't for them, I doubt Camelot would exist in a state and form, or Arthur would have even the manpower to do what he needs to do. And I don't know, I really like their designs, especially the younger ones. Like, seeing young Ironside, he doesn't look that much different from his modern self, but without the stash, he looks a lot younger, which is very, very cool. And the thing is, we get to hear that Anne thought Ironside was like a really cool dude, like a noble, upstanding man, constantly striving to do good. And I love how the Duke is like, that is not the impression he gave me, but I had to hold that one. And then we get to see that Percival is still depressed. And I like that. You know, I love my realistic sad boy hours. That's what I enjoy. But we get to see exactly what I expected. Anne walks up, new drip. Like, I think this is new. Yeah, like this is a completely different, maybe not completely different. I think, no, this is completely different. This is a new outfit. I'm actually cool to see it. She properly cut her hair off, so now it's just regular short hair, bob cut style. She still has the overhang, like she still has the extra one. I think it's called a bang. I'm sorry, I have so little hair, I have no idea what to call it. We get to see the coat. Like, I actually really like the sauce that Anne decided to rock, so that's really, really cool. And then we get to see how proud her dad is. Like, I'm actually super happy that this dude didn't end up just being your basic bad father. Sure, he smacked the life out of her, but at the same time, he's like so supportive of her. Like, wow, you look just like your mom when she was young. And I love how like these two have this whole conversation. Like, Anne's like ready to argue with her father, like, no, please, let me go be a holy knight just like mom was. And her dad's like, yeah, don't worry, I expected you to say that. It's perfectly fine. You do what you need to do, go out there into the world and get some experience. And I think that's so cool. And I love how her dad is like super dramatic with it. Like, I cannot let you journey alone. And we get to see that Anne is like about to argue back, only for her to be like, wait a minute, you don't mean. And then we get to turn around and see that, yeah, he means exactly that. He looks at the squad, the gang, Nasian's, Donnie, and Percival. And Percival hops down. I always forget how Percival small is, how small Percival is until he's standing next to another character. Like, he literally has to look straight up, like tilt the neck back to look Anne in the eyes. I think that's kind of funny. And I just realized Percival has a hole in his shirt too. Someone fix this man some new clothes. Gosh darn it, y'all ain't got a tailor. I know you're rebuilding like the entire village, but at the same time, come on now, get these kids some new clothes. Like, if Anne got some new drip, I know you got some spare threads. Come on now. But at the same time, I love how her father is like fully supportive of her choice to go out there and be a holy knight now. Like, now that Ironside's gone, he has no objections to her leaving out into the world and doing her own thing, which I think is super good. I'm glad that he's letting her go without like some super dramatic, no, I can't let you leave. I'm glad that he's actually just being a cool dad. That's really, really nice. And then that's the end of the chapter with Anne crying, being like, I got your eyebrows, Dad. And that's about it. And I think that's really, really nice. It's a cute way to send these characters off. And man, does Sin look depressed. And y'all may have been spitting. Maybe Sin ain't Bond. Maybe he's Lancelot in that young shape shifting, because he looks mad depressed as you see this family lead off. And who knows? I don't know. That's really, really cool. I like that. Or it still could be Bond just looking at. See, I don't know what Sin is, or how Sin is, or who Sin is. And I think we won't learn for a while, considering that Anne, well, to be fair, she's not pressing the topic right now because she's having her whole emotional goodbye with her father. So I do hope that she ends up pressing Sin for answers. I hope someone presses Sin for answers. This can't just be like, if you're gonna keep writing it off, give better excuses. Don't just let the characters give up after like 2 seconds of pressing. I don't think that's any good. However, this chapter, speaking of how good this chapter was, 10 out of 10. Easy, easy, easy. Just because I love everything about the chapter. From the main thing, which really, I feel bad saying like this is the light work of the chapter, but the ending with Anne joining the group, it's still great. Like, I'm glad she's doing it, and I'm not saying it's bad that I could predict that she was going to do it. In fact, it's pretty expected, and I think that's good. So that's fine. That's why I think there's nothing wrong with the chapter. I even love how the dad's so supportive of it, which is what gives it that extra 10 out of 10 status. I love how proud he is of her and how happy he is that she's going to go on and live like her mother did, even though her mother did end up dead. We do get to see a more interesting part of the chapter in the backstory when we get to see the young version of the knights. But obviously the main thing that grabbed my attention was Pelgard. But actually the main thing that grabbed my attention was the beginning of the chapter, seeing Arthur punishing, disciplining, and giving a new assignment to Ironside. The reason this is so cool to me is because it's putting Arthur in a brand new light. Like, this is completely different from the Arthur we know from the last series, but at the same time, it still has the elements of Arthur from the last series, design-wise and even personality-wise at times. So by showing me this new, like, fresh take on Arthur, while at the same time giving me reminiscence and, like, flashbacks of the old one, and seeing how the two have merged and how much he's evolved as a character, how much he's evolved power-wise in terms of controlling chaos as magic. Like, there's so much stuff here that tastes good. It's so juicy. It's fresh, it's spicy. I love it. It's great in my mind. I don't know, this is really, really cool to me, and I super love seeing it. And I can't wait to see Arthur actually interact with like some of the four knights, or any of our past characters really, because it seems like he's holding himself up in his dimension despite being like the strongest being to ever being right now. Like, at least he should be, especially with 16 years of training. So I hope we do get to see Arthur step out of the dimension, but at the time, for this chapter alone, easy 10 out of 10. Super solid, super great. The fantastic artwork all over this chapter. Week break, just it be schmacking, bro. Like, all the extra detail in this chapter is insane. Naka's going dumb with his art right now. He's going dumb with his characters right now. He's going dumb with everything right now. This chapter was great. I love it. Easy 10 out of 10. What do you guys think? I actually super want to hear about this one because of how, like, vague this chapter is, at least in terms of the author stuff. It's not too vague in terms of the Anne stuff, but at the same time, are y'all excited for Anne to join the group? Do you think she's going to press Sin? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen next? Honestly, I think we're back on the road to Leonis, and I don't know how many more pit stops we're going to have, because I think we're still a decent bit from Leonis, but honestly, I think we are going to get real close to Leonis now. We may just run up on more old characters. If we got this much Arthur and Merlin this quickly, I wouldn't be shocked if we got to see more of the original gang coming up soon. So if we got to Leonis, I wouldn't be shocked. But that's just me. I'm super excited. What are you guys thinking about? What are you excited for? And what do you think of this chapter? Please tell me everything in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Thank you guys once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off.